Faust coming at you with an update this morning on the Ryobi router. This is a project I did with it. I want trying to do projects I do with the tools as well as the tool review. I bought this bit case with it. Has a tool to change the bits, all the bits, the end bits, and then you got your other bits here. The end bits always have the wheels on the end, and you just, take your router right up to the edge, this edge bit right here, okay? I did this edge right here. Okay, so there's different edge bits you can use. The other bit I used to do this groove right here. Okay, what I needed was a transition strip for here. Okay, so that's what it looks like there. And I had this 1x, so it was a 1x6, and I cut it in half. And I used the edger bit on this side, okay, and then there was a 3/8 inch gap right here in between. So I took the actual machine with the depth bit right here. Okay, I put it in here. I'm not going to do it right now. I think you guys get the gist of it. But and then I stuck the router right upside down like this to measure the depth, and then lo and behold, for the router it was difficult for it to do that all in one swath, so I did half and half. If you can look closely there, you can see. And it's not the prettiest thing here, but I mean, this is going to be turned upside down. And this one here is the end. I stained it to see if I'm going to have to get darker stain to match this. But as you can see, it turned out fairly well. This is the actual piece. This is the natural wood right here. Alright, and I'm going to show you what to look out for when you're doing the edges. As you can see, your bit, if you're not careful, it'll drag into the wood, and right here on the end it drug into it. So I'm going to have to fill that, or I'm going to have to cut the end deeper and then put an extension piece in there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but this is all stuff you run into. It's no big deal. I mean, you can always, get your patch and patch it in there. Now, it's hard to find a patch that will actually match. I mean, some of the patches are so stain unfriendly that you will see, the big difference. But if you get the right patch, then, you won't hardly see that at all. Like I said, I could patch it, or I could cut, make another cut here and put a fill-in piece on the end, which wouldn't be a big deal either. But also, when you're staining, you're going to see that continuation. You're going to see that joint. So what's the worst of two evils? I'll figure it out later. But anyway, I stained this with the natural stain just to give you an idea. I'm going to get a darker stain, probably a black stain or a mahogany or something like that to stain this. But anyway, I use this tool. I love this tool. I mean, this was a bit much for this tool, this job. It was heating up, but every once in a while I let the tool run without any force on it, free spin, so that the fan cools down the motor. But this thing did the job. I did two sides here. Okay, and like I said, I had to let it cool down by just letting it free spin. But also, This is a 1.5 battery. Okay, I had to go get the 3.0 battery, which is thicker, to do this job because this battery here just doesn't have enough power. It only runs for like, you know, a half a span or something like that. But it's amazing how much longer the 3.0 battery runs. And if you're going to do a bigger job like this, you're going to need the bigger battery to keep up, you know, so you don't have to keep on charging, you know, every 10 seconds. The 3.0 worked out very well. So, like I said, I used the edger bit. Okay, then I measured the depth here, and I cut the back. And believe me, there's other ways. I mean, I could have done this with a table saw, but I didn't have a table saw at my disposal. I mean, half of this website is training you to use the tools that you have, you know, at your disposal. I mean, sure, you watch trim carpenters and they pull up with a trailer with, you know, $4,000 or $5,000 worth of tools in them, and that's great, but the average homeowner is not going to go out and spend, you know, $3 grand on tools just to do a project. So the whole gist of this, you know, training is to teach you to use the tools that you have and make something happen. So as you can see, I mean, I love this router. I can't say enough about it. This is like my second one, and the only reason I replaced it is because the other one grew legs. In this industry, a lot of my tools will grow legs and be gone, so I have to replace them just for that reason. Unfortunately, we still don't have the most honest people around, but that's part of life. Again, I got everything out of this bit case, and it worked out well. So I mean, you know, this bit case and the router, you know, they're total a couple $100 with the battery, I think. So I was able to do this transition strip and get this job pretty much finalized. I just have to get the proper stain and get some polyurethane, and it will be customized the way I want it to look without going to the store and spending, you know, $40 a strip for, you know, a piece of transition strip, and half the time it doesn't really match. But sometimes with the flooring, you can get, you know, transition strips and end caps and stuff like that, but unfortunately this floor was here when I got here, and on rehab you just have to wing it and do what you got to do. Again, this is the Ryobi cordless router. This is a follow-up video for all of you who are enthusiasts on this tool. I happen to like it. I mean, you know, you got all these people, you know, putting Ryobi up against DeWalt and Milwaukee and all these other, you know, vendors, and for me it is what I like and what comes natural to me. And this tool here is a tool that I use a lot, and I really like it. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Like and subscribe, guys. Subscribe. I need subscribers. It's always nice to know you have people looking at your videos, and they do help, because that's why I do these videos. There's a lot of products out there, a lot of products that they say do various things, and they may not do them, or they may not be appropriate for that exact job, and that's why I'm here doing these videos. Like and subscribe. This is Faust. Share the video. I'm out.